Hello, hello, hello. Great evening, beautiful people. Great evening. Come on in. We are so excited about episode 2 of Boss Moves. Today we're talking minding my mental health. That is what we are talking today. So we're going to wait just a few minutes for you guys to come on and join this live. Again, it's a great evening. Temperatures aren't too low yet. So we are ready to rock and roll. Great evening. Great evening. We are so very excited to have you guys join us. As you are joining, make sure that you are hitting the like button, you're tagging a friend, you're sharing this video. We are talking about something extremely important today, and that is mental health. Again, great evening. Go ahead and drop a great evening in the comments so that I can see you are here. Great evening. We are so excited to have everybody join us today. And again, make sure that you tag a friend, you share this video because, again, we have some very important information to share with you on this evening. Hello, everybody. Y'all come on in. Come on in. Great evening. It's Sunday. And what a beautiful Sunday it has been for me. We hope that it has been for you as well, folks. Again, great evening. Hey, Principal Paige. How are you doing? So excited to have you today. We are excited to have you. Again, go ahead and like this video, share it so that we can spread this good word this evening. Because what I know to be true right now is we are all needing as much assistance as we can get in this area of mental health. Again, we'll wait just about another 30 seconds for a few more folks to come on in. But again, it's a great evening, folks. Welcome to Boss Moves. We are talking minding my mental health today. Minding my mental health. Folks say standing on business. We standing on our mental health too this year. We want to make sure that we are well in all facets of our life because we know if we are going to make greatest impact, we got to be well. And that's just not physically well. We need to be well in our whole being, every aspect of who we are. So again, great evening. Drop a great evening, a happy Sunday in the comments that will let me know that you are here. We are so very excited to have you. Share this video. This is a show tonight that I really think so many people need to hear. We are excited to have you guys. Hey, team, my Montana crew, I see y'all. Hello, we are so excited to have you guys again with us. All right, folks, we're going to get this party started. Today is Sunday, and we hope that you've had an amazing Sunday. You guys know how we start. What's in your cup tonight? I have my boss mug. I have tea in mine. What are you drinking tonight? What are you drinking tonight? Drop it in the comment. Great evening indeed it is. What are you guys drinking tonight? It's cold. It's real cold. So I am drinking hot tea. That's what I have in mind. What are you guys doing to stay warm as we are experiencing this crazy? Did you guys see that weather in Kansas City yesterday? Wasn't that crazy? So again, welcome. We're so excited to have you guys, and we're going to get this party started. We're talking boss moves. If you guys know, boss stands for bold, optimistic, spontaneous, and substantial. And I got to tell you, all 2024 and beyond, we are making boss moves. And remember, boss is not about a particular position. It's about your purpose. It's not about a title. It's about using your talent for the greatest good. We're going to jump right on in this conversation today. I am so excited to bring on our special guest. Before we do, make sure that you like this video, you share it, you drop a comment. You guys know all the tricks to algorithm that I am just now learning, right? So it's great to have you guys. I am bringing on none other than our licensed therapist who is with us for this evening, Elizabeth Reynolds. She is a licensed professional counselor in both the states of Mississippi and South Carolina. She received her bachelor's of science degree in psychology, right? My psychology twin over there, from the University of Southern Mississippi. She received her master's of science degree from Mississippi College in marriage and family therapy. She has been a therapist for over 10 years. Over the years, she has worked with an array of disorders from schizophrenia to depression. Elizabeth loves working with adult individuals specializing in anxiety, depression, and relational issues. Elizabeth loves what she does and embraces all of the challenges and triumphs in helping her clients to grow and to heal. Hello, Miss Reynolds. How are you today?
Hi, happy Sunday. I'm doing wonderful. How are you doing?
We are doing exceptionally well. Y'all tell her great evening. Y'all know how we do in Boss Nation, Boss Land, right? Boss University, School of Boss. We say great evening to our special guest today. We are so very excited to have you.
Mhm.
And I got to ask you, it's Self Care Sunday. What do you do for self care? Maybe not on today, but just any
I'm going to
random
do my.
self care.
Oh, I'm doing it today. Oh, I have to stop you there, Dr. Nelson. I'm doing my self care today. On
Okay, let's
today,
hear it.
I am taking a good bubble bath. I put the Good Bath and Body Works stress relief bubble bath in the tub. And for Christmas, I got me a tub caddy, the thing you put across so you can have your snacks and your wine spirits, whatever you choose. It could be Kool-Aid, whatever you prefer. And your little snacks, and I put my phone up and have my nice little shows, my TV programs on there, and I lay back and enjoy a good 30 minutes, 45, an hour be done went by before I know it good. So that's what I'm doing for self-care today.
Okay, so that is what you are doing for self care. Folks, drop in the comments.
Yes.
What are you doing for self care today? And maybe if it hasn't been today, maybe this weekend or this past week. What have you done for you lately? Let me ask that. Let me sit back in my seat. Y'all know this is always a candid, casual conversation, right, with friends. What have you done for you lately? Drop it in the chat. What have you done for you lately? Yes,
What are
great.
you doing right now, Dr. Nelson, while you collecting everybody else's? What have
So
you done
what
for
am
you
I
lately?
doing? I love to burn candles. I guess that doesn't count, right? But I started my day today and I've tried to get back in the routine that helps me tremendously is starting my day. Of course, after prayer, I get crisscross applesauce on the floor and sit in silence. So I did that this
Mhm.
morning and I'm trying to, you're always evaluating and reflecting. And so in my reflecting, that's something that I had kind of gotten away from doing as often as I was. And I remember, when
Mhm.
I do it all the time, it really helps me to stay grounded. So I started there. I love being outside. It was too cold this afternoon, though. I love watching the sunset.
Absolutely.
It was really pretty, but it was too cold for me to get out there and sit down and chill out outside today. So that's one of the things. We see you guys. Somebody said, yep, it's nothing like a great bubble bath. And tell those children to go sit
Mhm.
down somewhere. You need a minute, mamas. You need a minute. It's okay. Can we give you just a
Indeed.
few? Somebody
Mhm.
said shopping. All right, come through the shopping. Did you find any sales
Mhm.
today? Leslie, what's on sale? I'm a bargain shopper, so I'm always looking for things. But again, great, great evening, everyone. We are so excited to have you. We're going to jump right on in this thing. So, we're going to start off talking about what causes you to have anxiety. So, you guys drop that in the chat. What are some things that cause you to have anxiety? I will never forget y'all learning how to drive. And I used to back in the day, I told y'all I didn't grow up with everything, right? Uh, I had to use my mom's tempo. It was a silver tempo. And I remember going to take that driver's license test in that tempo back in the day. And it was time to parallel park. And I hit the curb. I hit it real hard. The officer said, baby,
Mhm.
I said, well,
No,
yeah,
ma'am.
what happened? What happened? Elizabeth, he said, what's going on? I said, well, I was using the mirror to help me. He said, well, you got to be careful with that, young lady. He said, look at that. What does that say right there in the bottom of that mirror? And I legit had never paid attention up until that point. What it said was objects in the mirror may be closer than they appear.
Mhm.
Objects in the mirror may be closer than they appear. And so for me as an adult, I remind myself of what it like anxiety is that way for me, right? When I feel anxious or something
Mhm.
causes me anxiety, it's because my perspective is off about that thing, right? It appears to be closer than it really is, right? And so people like, they're answering the question, what causes you anxiety? Sometimes I have so much on my calendar that if I look too far ahead, like it's like, okay, wait a minute, take a step back. You're not even there yet, girl. Come on back to today.
Mm-hmm.
Take a step back. Stay right here. Be where your feet are planted. That's one of those things that I have to remind myself that helps me. I see that somebody says uncertainty. Do you hear that a lot? Absolutely. Uncertainty. It's scary to not know the unknown. Somebody else said,
Mm-hmm.
let's jump right on in. How do you know when it might be time to seek help, right? When you often use the words toiling, right? Sometimes we are always
Mm-hmm.
seeking a listening ear from our friends, from our family, and we are blessed to have those things, right? But it might be a point where you need more than just a friend's listening ear. You might actually need, instead of the listening ear, you need a licensed therapist or you need some other type of help. So, school us today, Elizabeth Reynolds. How do you know when it might be time to actually seek help dealing with anxiety, dealing with fear?
Okay. There are a few things that you should be aware of that may help you to figure out, well, maybe my friends, my pastor, my homegirl may not be enough for me. I may need to seek some outside help. One thing you should notice or pay attention to would be your daily activities. How is the way you're feeling affecting your daily activities? Are you showering every day? Are you eating every day? Are you sleeping well at night? When those different things start to be affected, it may be, hey, something's going on with me. Something is a little different than it usually is. Also, your relationships. Are you able to engage in satisfying relationships? And when I
Ooh,
say relationships,
say it one more time.
I'm not just saying I'm not just saying romantic relationships. I mean relationships, period. Do you have a good relationship with your mom? Do you have a relationship with your sister? Do you have any good friends? Can you get along with people on the job? If you don't have any relationships that are healthy and satisfying for you, then that's also a sign that something may be going on. And finally, when things start to affect your work and or school, depending on what stage you are in life right now, if you used to meet productivity every month and now you can't meet it, maybe you dread going to work, maybe you aren't wanting to talk to clients, maybe in a spot at work where you were excelling, you're no longer excelling. When you look at those three different areas of your life, and if you find that things just don't seem quite right, maybe it's time for you to seek some outside help. And let me add to that, this does not mean that you have a diagnosable disorder. Like, oh Lord, I'm crazy. I
Yeah.
need to be on some medication. Somebody need to put me in the hospital. It does not mean that. If you need to seek some type of mental health treatment, whether that is seeing a therapist, whether that is seeing a psychiatrist, what have you, that does not mean you are crazy. And it does not always mean you have something diagnosable. It could just mean you need some more resources. You need an outside
Absolutely.
resource to help you get through these life stresses you have. It does not mean you're crazy or you have something that may require you to go into a hospital of some sort. It just means you need some more resources and you don't have the resources on hand to help you get through these life stresses.
I like that. I need more resources. I absolutely love that because I can speak for the African, in my community, right? And in our Southern African American community, we don't like to say the word
Absolutely.
therapist. We don't like to say mental
Hmm.
health. It's taboo. We stay away from it, but it's so critically important more now than ever because we are all, post COVID. Everybody, we've been traumatized on top of the
Absolutely.
issues and the stresses that you were having before that, those things were compounded. And moving forward, to be honest, a lot of us have been stuck, right? So I absolutely love that. Do you need more resources? You guys make sure that you've liked this video, make sure that you've shared this video because we want to reach some people. We want to be able to help people. What do you say about that? What do you say to
Absolutely.
people that say only crazy folks go to see a therapist? What do you say to that?
To that, I say no. A flat out good old no. I no explanation needed. No, it's a no for me because that is not true. You have to think about ailments. Think about if you have high blood pressure, you take medicine for that. Think about if you have diabetes, you take medicine for that. If you need dialysis, you go on every other day getting treatment for that. Your mental health is the exact same thing. It is an issue, it is a problem, it is something that needs to be addressed. So you address it. Point blank and the period. It does not mean I'm crazy, something wrong with me, and you're gonna put me in. No, it is another ailment on your list. You got the gout and you have anxiety. It's just another ailment on your list. And just like you see about those ailments, you have
That's
to
right.
see about this one as well. And it's
We have
just that simple. And you don't have to be turned off because I find a lot of people get turned off by being diagnosed with something. Don't
yes.
let diagnosis turn you off and turn you away from mental health because you feel like you're being labeled. Don't let that
Yes.
turn you off. Everyone who gets mental health treatment, seeing a therapist, what have you, does not have a diagnosis. And even
Right.
if you are diagnosed with something, consider that as a tool. That's a tool for the therapist as well as the psychiatrist to know the plan of action to help you. End of story. It's just a tool.
Yeah. I think that, life is a great balancing act. It's an absolute great balancing act, right? And you guys know with the seesaw, if you get somebody that's balanced with you, right? It's okay. We can go up and down, but every now and then something will flop on that other end that'll send you like, wait a minute, what's going on, right? And I will be very transparent.
Absolutely.
I am an advocate for mental health. I'm an advocate for therapists. I was looking for, I don't know what my shirt is. One of my favorite shirts says, I love God and my therapist. Okay. And so there have been times, when I was going through major life transitions that I needed some help. I looked like I was well because everybody was like I was rolling. I didn't skip a beat, but I was struggling, right? And so I knew that I had to do something or I was going to drown. And so my first experience with a therapist was amazing. She still to date is my person that if I need somebody, she is on speed dial, right? And I think it's very important that we acknowledge that because I have a therapist, like you just said, I don't have a diagnosis. I was a human struggling with being. Let me say that again. I was a human struggling with being my current state. And I just simply needed somebody outside of my mama and them, right? Outside of my best friend to help me
Mhm.
what was happening, right? Because again, you know what I told you, that mirror,
Absolutely.
anxiety and grief, it skews your perspective. It skews that perspective. And so sometimes we need somebody else to help us do that. Right? All right, here we go. Thank you guys. Hey Tracy. I love my tribe jump song. Remember, make sure that you are sharing this video because again, it's a topic that we need to talk about, right? Minding our mental health. All right, so we've talked about when it might be time to seek help. Let's talk about some strategies. What are some strategies that people can actually use
Wonderful.
day to day to help cope with anxiety?
Wonderful question. First off, what I always suggest, first and foremost, do something that you already know works. Do something that you like. You will have people tell you that you need to do this yoga, you need to do this meditation. Girl, you need to get you a journal. If you don't like to write, you don't need a journal. Start off with things you already like and
Yeah,
things that you have already found work for you.
yeah,
If you know taking a bubble bath helps you to relax, that is a coping skill. What makes it a coping skill is because you do it intentionally. When you intentionally take that
do
bubble
it.
bath, because
Y'all
I
drop that in the chat.
recognize
Yeah, drop it
that
in there.
my
Do it.
anxiety is going up. It's
Uh-huh.
about the intention behind it. When I realize my anxiety is going up, I know I can take that bubble bath and it will calm me down. It's a difference in anxiety and, let's say, depression, for example.
Yes,
The coping
yes.
skill has to match what you're dealing with. Anxiety is up. So if you know you are anxious, going a mile a minute and up, you need to do something that brings you down. If you are
Mm,
depressed, you're already down, baby. You don't need to do anything that's going to have you down. You need to do things that bring you up.
mhm,
Examples: if you're anxious, one of the things that I always suggest, first off, again, things you already know calm you. Anything that is calming for you, drinking your tea. If you know drinking tea calms you when you're anxious, drink that tea. Instant coping seal, because there's something you already know that works. So first off, again, start off with things that work, but it's going to be things that calm you if anxiety is your issue. Another thing I suggest is rational thinking. Anxiety is nothing but falsehoods that your
mhm,
mind is telling you. It's not fact
mhm,
behind it. It's what coulda, shoulda, woulda, maybe. That's not a
mhm,
fact. That's coulda,
mhm.
shoulda, woulda. And anxiety will have you believing things that have no evidence behind it. So when I say rational thinking, I want you to think of the facts of the situation. I know my husband somewhere cheating on me right now. Is he? Give me the facts. The fact is, I know he's at work. The fact is, I can call him at any time. The fact is, we're going to have lunch today and I'll be able to actually see him. That is rational thinking.
Mm.
So we have to kill those anxious thoughts with rational thinking, and it's hard, but you have to practice. That's something you can use as a coping skill. Another one, good old fashioned breathing exercises. In through the nose, out through the mouth. You will be amazed how calming that could be to do that breathing exercise anytime you're going through that anxiety, as long as it takes to calm you to the point that you can move forward. Exercise is something you can use for any type of mental health issue you have. It's always suggested to exercise
Can you
for
say that one more time?
anything. And another one
Say
could
that
be
one more time.
mindfulness. Exercise.
Yes.
Exercise can be helpful for any type of mental health issue you have. Any type, exercise can help. And now, on the contrast of that, when you're looking at depression or being down or something of the sort, it would be different. It wouldn't be things that you do to calm you down, like yoga and meditating and mindfulness. It will be something to lift you up, because depression wants you to lay in that bed, baby. It wants you to
Yes.
have your head under the covers. It wants you to have
Yes.
that ice cream under there with you, with that
It
pillow
wants you to be
between
in a
your
dark
legs.
place.
That is what
Yes.
depression wants you to do.
Yes.
It wants you to. So you have to fight against it and do the opposite of what it is telling your body you need. So when you're depressed, this is when you have your music blasting in your room with your favorite playlist and your Beyonce and you crazy in love, dancing around the room. That's what you do. You get up and do something you know you enjoy, like cooking or running, whatever it is. Do things that you know give you that upbeat, up and at 'em type of feeling. Limit your time in the bed. Okay, I'm going to only lay in the bed when it's time for me to go to sleep. Other than that, I'm going to be out of it. And that can mean you sitting beside the bed instead of being in it, because sometimes you don't have the energy. But when it comes
Yeah.
to that, you have to do the opposite of what your body is telling you. Depression gonna tell you don't want to eat. Go on in there and get you something to eat. Maybe drink a little protein shake. Give your body the opposite of what it's telling you that you need. And again, exercise is always good for any type of mental health disorder.
Listen, so you just dropped so many amazing things. Y'all drop in the comments what coping strategy did she just say that resonated with you? Go ahead and drop it in the comment. What is one of the coping strategies that she just gave us that resonated with you? I've never heard it explained that way, Beth, but that is fantastic, right? It's so simple. If you're feeling anxiety, I need to
It's
do
so
something to
simple.
calm myself down. If I'm
That
feeling
brings
depressed,
you down,
matter of fact, y'all drop in the
bring
chat.
you
Get
up.
up, girl. Y'all help me out. We're gonna help some sisters out and some brothers out too. Get up, God. Y'all just type in the chat. Get up. Type it in there. Help us out. Get up.
Mhm.
Make sure that you have shared this
And it's
video.
going to be difficult, but you have
Yeah,
to do it.
yeah. Giving my body the opposite of what I think it needs. I think that resonates with
Mhm.
me for sure.
Yes.
The other thing is exercise, y'all. People ask me all the time, right? So I am so blessed that I get to speak in front of all types of audiences, right? Not just education. I get to train all types of people as it relates to culture, climate, customer experience, right? All of those things. But when I'm training, I got to start with the person. And people always ask, like, why do you start with the person? Because I can't help the position get better if I'm not helping the person in the position get better, right? And so these things that you're saying are just so critically important that day to day, we have to talk to ourselves, right? Get up, get up, or calm down, girl. These are so very, very
Yeah.
simple, but so fantastic. I appreciate that so very much. So let's lean on in a little bit because you noted that anxiety is different than depression. In the same way, right? We know that grief is different. I was talking with a friend a couple of weeks ago and we were talking about grief. And I said, I told her, I said, there are things that have happened to me in my life, traumatic things that caused me to grieve. Sometimes we want to only think that grief has to do with someone dying. It's bigger than that, right?
No, it doesn't.
Grief is bigger than that. You turned 50 this year and you thought you were gonna have A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and you stuck there, right? Or you haven't achieved a thing yet, right? And you're stuck there. It causes us to be a place where you're frozen almost, like you can't see past what that thing is, right? Um, but grief is tricky. Grief a little sneaky joker. Grief is because
Mm.
you are over a thing, like, oh, I've gotten past it, I'm beyond it. And you could be walking down the Walmart aisle looking for dog food, right? It's like you can rub your hand across your hand and feel like, oh, wait, that's a scar. And immediately you feel the pain behind whatever that
Absolutely.
thing, that scar that caused it, right? Grief is tricky. And if we aren't careful, we get stuck there. So let's talk about this thing. How do we help get unstuck? Right? We're gonna use that term. How do we get unstuck from grief? I for the longest, you lose people who are so dear to you, and you're trying to be the strong one for your family, strong one for your friends. And my dear Aunt Helen and my Mike, I couldn't talk about it, right? I would talk about it and I would immediately tear up, so I would not talk about that thing, right? But after a while, it's like I found that it was better on those days that I was struggling through it to talk about it. How do people get unstuck? Let's give us some strategies to help process through grief. Again, grief being more than just the death of somebody. It might be the death of the future that you thought you were gonna have, right? The death of the situation that you thought
Mhm.
you must live in, right? It's not being able to move with how or with who you thought you would moving forward. So talk us through that. What is that thing?
Okay, well, with grief, it can be very tricky because it can hit you at any given moment. And something we have to remember when it comes to grief is that there's no time limit or time
Mm,
stamp on grief. No
mm,
one can tell you how long it's going to take you to stop grieving a thing. We
yeah.
can't say, oh, in a couple of months you'll be okay, or in a couple of years. Sometimes for a lifetime you grieve over a thing. There nothing helps grief, in my professional opinion. Nothing really helps grief more than time. It takes time to move past it, but in the meantime, while we're trying to work through it, we have to incorporate some healthy ways of grieving, because sitting around and crying our eyes out, or the opposite, acting like it never happened, neither
Oh, that's
one of those
yeah,
is going to be helpful for us. So,
yeah.
one thing that I would suggest you do is replace the trauma, the traumatic event, the loss of the loved one, job, what have you. Replace that with happier, uplifting, funny, wonderful memories of that person or of that event. And I want you to at least have three on deck that you can pull up at any time. What I mean by that is, when you start to think of your, let's say, for example, loved one that has passed away, instead of you thinking about Big Mama's last day on earth, while you were holding her hand on her deathbed and her eyes closing for the last time, instead of you thinking of that when you think about Big Mama, You think about that time Big Mama stumbled down that last church step and everybody was laughing and giggling and couldn't control themselves for a good hour. You think about that time you first let Big Mama taste some sushi and she said, "What is this? I'm about with this mess." That's what you think about, because the sum of a person is not their last day on this earth. A
Oh,
sum
that's
of the
beautiful.
person is the memories that they leave behind. That's the sum of a person. And when we are grieving, we forget that. And we focus on them last 2 minutes we had with that person instead of the lifetime of time we had with them. That is their legacy. And that's how we're going to remember it. So what I ask is that you take three of the happiest, funniest, craziest, silliest, some just as silly memories you have with that person. And when the thought of them comes in your mind, I want you to instantly replace whatever that negative thing you were going to think with that memory. Oh, I remember that time Big Mama put salt in the biscuits instead of sugar, and it tasted like whatever. That's the thing that I want to come to your mind. And it will be difficult at first, but I want you to be in all this is about intention. Intentionally do that until it becomes a habit. That when you think of that person, you think of that thing. Another thing I suggest is allowing yourself time, days, and time to grieve. If you say, I got to get this out, give me on Tuesday at 7:15. I'm gonna give myself 30 minutes to sit in this thing. But when I say sit in it, I don't mean I'm sitting there sad and crying and going through. I want you to do the same thing I mentioned before. We're switching it up. We're thinking positively. When you in that moment and when you taking that 30 minutes, I want you to watch a TV show that you and Big Mama used to love to watch in the heat of the night. Turn on in the heat of the night in the 30 minutes. That's what I'm gonna do in order to honor my Big Mama. Get in that kitchen and make that pound cake y'all used to make together. So in my time, I have chosen Tuesday nights at 7:15. I'm gonna make a pound cake like me and Big Mama used to make. That's what I choose to do. Play that love and happiness that Big Mama used to love to hear by Brother Al Green. You play that and you dance around. This is how I'm gonna
Yeah.
honor my Big Mama for this
Yeah.
30 minutes on Tuesdays at 7:45. This is how I'm gonna honor her. And you do that once a week. I got to get it out. This love and happiness for that 30 minutes, because that's how I want to honor my Big Mama. If you shed a tear or two, that's okay. But the intention is to honor this person for this 30 minutes once a week until you find that you don't need it. But as for as long as you need it, you do that. So those are the things I suggest. And finally, I will also to put a cap on it.
Mhm.
Remember that you are alive and well. You are still here. You
Y'all type
have
that
to
in the
remember
type
you
that in.
are
I
alive
am
and
well.
well and still here. You're still here. You have to remember that. And as you remember that, you have to think about all of your goals and dreams you had before that person passed or before that opportunity fell through, whatever it is. Remember who you were before, because that's who you need to be now. Now this thing has happened. Now I have to get back to me. I have to get back to all of those things, because as I have learned from going through grief myself, the world keeps turning. People
Yeah.
going to work, that babies are being born, the earth is still on its axis. The world is turning. You are alive and you are well, and you have to behave as such.
Yeah.
And you have to think of the person that left us. Do they want you to be here in the state you are right now? What
Mm.
would they say if they saw you living in the state that you're living in now? Remember,
Yeah.
you're alive and well and behave as such.
And behave as such. I love it. Thank you
Yeah.
so very much. This has been amazing tonight. Y'all make sure, even right now, y'all like, share the video, and tell us, Elizabeth Reynolds. Let's say that there is someone on here, and let me add, you didn't say this, but I think you are uniquely positioned to help educators because you were an educator before you became a therapist, right? So let's say
Absolutely.
that there are people on
Absolutely.
here who say, you know what, I need some therapy. Maybe I'm interested in you. How do they reach you? How do we reach you?
Wonderful. There are a few ways. One of the easier ways would be to, well, I don't know if it's the easiest, but one of the ways you can find me would be on Psychology Today. You can go on their website and look up Discovering Peace Counseling Services. That's the name of my practice, Discovering Peace Counseling Services. So you can look me up on Psychology Today website.
Okay.
You can also just give me a call. My business number is 769 257 0771. You can call me and leave a message if I don't answer, because that might mean I'm in session. But you can also text that number. That's a business number that you can actually text. So that may be easier for you, just to give me a little spiel. Hey, I was interested. Then we can talk and have a consultation. My consultations are free, so don't worry about that. If you just want to call and talk and just see if this is something that you need, feel free to do so. Also, you can email me at my work email. It's discovering peace CS, the letter C and the letter S, at gmail.com. You can shoot me an email there and just say, hey, I saw you on the live. I want to talk a little further, and just leave a phone number for me or an email address that I can reply back to, and we can go from there. So hopefully any of those platforms will be helpful for you.
Sounds good. Well, you have been absolutely amazing. We appreciate you so very much. And I hope
Thank
that
you.
throughout tonight, something has been said to help you all. Remember, we are all about making boss moves, and we're about operating in our purpose, y'all. And we can't do that to our best capacity if
Absolutely.
we are not well, right? So that was the purpose of bringing on
Mm,
health, mental health support tonight, because again, it's very important. And I can't say this enough. You can love God and a therapist. I'm gonna say it 3 more times for the people in the back. You can love God and a therapist.
absolutely.
You can love God and a therapist, right? And great pastors will let it be known that that's not their area, right? Yes, go see you a therapist. Yes, go
Hmm.
talk to someone who is licensed and trained to help you process through right here in this earth realm what you are working.
Hmm.
Y'all drop it one more time. Boss moves all
Hmm.
2024. It was a great night again. Drop it in the chat. Boss moves in 2024. That's what we're doing all 2024. We love you guys. It's always a great day to be you, and never
Hmm.
ever forget, be boss. Y'all have make it a great week. Make those boss moves. Drop it in the
Be
chat,
boss.
and we will see you guys next Sunday. Y'all make it a great week. Boss moves all 2024. We love y'all. Hashtag boss moves. See you next week.
Bye.